man, Jerry Jones is ruining the rivalry for me. Like, what he did on this radio interview, and sorry, I still got the messed up voice, guys. Um, he was on this public forum interview that he calls into every week after a football game, after a Dallas Cowboys game. And the host started berating him about the topics that he didn't want to hear, that he didn't want to talk about. It got to the point that he was threatening to get these guys fired. Like, something that he agreed to do and does willingly, and he loves going around and talking to the press after every game and calling into these radio shows and whatnot and all that. And I have never, ever seen a story in the sports world where it is so 100% to one side of the story. Like, because usually with someone in sports, there is like sycophants, brainwashed, the whatevers that will at least agree with the guy, at least agree with the athlete, the owner, the whatever. They'll be like, he's a business guy. He's just doing what he has to for the team. He's just making the decision because he has to. It's let things play out before we make a judgment. Blah blah blah. And they're like they say stupid things like that. But with Jerry Jones now, the press, the fans, and even the most diehard, brainwashed, delusional Dallas Cowboys fans are all against Jerry Jones on this one. And it is now getting to the point where you're even seeing content creators here on YouTube saying that, honestly, I'm not upset if the Cowboys lose because it's just karma for Jerry Jones now. It's like, I just expect them to lose. I expect them to be a disappointment. I want them to win. But if they lose, I'm kind of satisfied with it. And I'm sitting here like, no. Like, how can I root for a team where they're fans that I want to see suffer because they've made me suffer my whole life as an Eagles fan? And so telling me I'm never going to get a ring and all that stuff on my team, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we don't need to talk about history here because we have to talk about VCRs to mention the Dallas Cowboys history. But anyway, how can I be on the side of rooting against this team that has the fan base that is now turning and starting to root against them as well? Like, it's not all of them, obviously. It's not all the Dallas Cowboys fans, but it's so many of them now are just saying, like, hey, we deserve this. We deserve to get blown out at home. Jerry Jones deserves to get blown out at home by Detroit on his birthday. That's called karma. I'm like, excuse me, how am I going to have a vested interest in rooting against them like when they play San Francisco after the bye week, knowing that their fan base is going to be like, I expect them to push our poop up the tailpipe because that's what San Francisco always does to us. And honestly, it deserves to be an epic pushing. Like, how am I going to sit there and laugh and take as much pride? Because again, I admit this rivalry is to a point of obsession that I have with them. I love my Philadelphia Eagles, but man, I love that rivalry between the Philadelphia, just the NFL versus the Cowboys. I love that rivalry. Second tier as much as I do the Eagles. It's just the most fascinating thing. I love seeing their fans get worked up every season. I love seeing their fans cry at the end of every season. I love to see them have those. They just always have that one or two big heartbreaking losses, which this year it's probably going to be double-digit heartbreaking losses. I love it. I love it. What can I say? I'm entertained by this game, and man, is this a distraction from the election right now, seeing the Cowboys crashing and burning in epic fashion. But Jerry Jones here, and I can understand people wanting to root for the team. You've rooted for the team your whole life. You love the star and all that stuff. And what else are you going to do in Dallas, Nebraska, and Fort Worth, Maine, and all those other areas that you just magically became a Cowboys fan in, starting probably in 1993. Anyway, so at this point, I just got to say to like the loyal Cowboys fans is like, how do you do it? How do you do it? Because I know people are going to say like, oh, Archie, people have hated Jerry Jones for years. This ain't nothing new. Like, especially in the Dallas Cowboys fan base, they've been critical of him for years. But here's the thing. Talk is cheap. He is not going anywhere until he dies. He is not going anywhere until he dies. I want to repeat that in case some of the thick-headedness out there couldn't translate that the first time around. So all the time for talk and bluster is done. You have to take actions to make change. He doesn't care if you're critical of him. He's tired of hearing about not getting Derrick Henry in the off season. Because every Dallas Cowboys fan, every NFL fan knows that, man, if they had Derrick Henry and an actual running game in Dallas right now, it'd be a lot different. Be a heck of a lot different. Because Jerry's loyal to bringing guys like Zeke back. Zeke's the guy he picked out of college. Zeke is loyal to Jerry. He's like a ruler of it, like I put in that community post yesterday. Jerry Jones is like the ruler of a totalitarian regime. He's like a Vladimir Putin or a Kim Jong-un. Okay? Oh, Russian media, do you want to ask something critical of Vladimir Putin? Guess what? You're falling out of a building. Accidentally. Kim Jong-un, you got something bad to say about him in North Korea? Oh, guess what? You're put in front of some artillery during a testing run. And they're going to shoot you at point blank range with a mega cannon. Anyway, the point being, like, no, Jerry Jones ain't going to have people offed, but threatening with them with their jobs and knowing that if push came to shove, that he's the big tough billionaire, he's the guy walking tall in Dallas, that he could make moves to get moves made. Please, no one in your fan base is going to agree with that, and that's what you're finding out now. Like, he's hitting stuff at such a grassroots level that not even the most die-hard Jerry Kool-Aid drinkers can even agree with him now. You're threatening the livelihoods of some guys on a radio station, asking you questions that every single fan wants to be asked. You're tired of hearing about not getting Derrick Henry? Well, guess what? The Dallas fans are tired of seeing Derrick Henry tear up the turf with Baltimore and coming into your house in Dallas and doing it there. And saying, my God, he should be doing it here. He's from Dallas. He has 2 houses here. And guess what? He said that no one even gave him a call. Derrick Henry said no one even gave him a call from Dallas. They didn't even try. Jerry Jones's excuse was, well, he was just too expensive. $8 million? You couldn't clear up $8 million of cap space? Or maybe because he's a local guy, maybe get him for 7 or 6. He's a guy that wanted to play in Dallas. Maybe he would have gave you a hometown discount. So yes, every Dallas fan would like those questions asked over and over again until you're tired of hearing them. And guess what? They're going to get asked even more now, honestly. But anyways, going back to the fans here, enough of the talk of hating Jerry. Enough of him saying like, oh, he's an old man. He's the crypt keeper from Tales from the Crypt and blah, 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 blah. Talk is cheap now. You got to stop supporting this team. Stop showing up to games. Stop buying the merchandise. Stop being such a sycophant loyalist. Because that's all he cares about. He sees his stupid little Jerry World packed every other weekend. Why would he change anything? You idiots still buy the shirts till they run out on the shelves? Put that stupid Dallas star on anything and it'll get sold. Stop being a moronic fan base and actually make change. I want you to go back to rooting for your team and wanting to see them win. I don't want you to be on my side as one of the people in the rivalry here that wants to see this team lose and suffer. It's ridiculous that it's getting to this point. Jerry Jones is the only reason. The only reason. Because there's teams that suck and their GMs aren't brought out on the carpet of saying like, oh man, I wish they would shut up with talking to the press and all that stuff. Jerry Jones is so obsessed for being the first voice out there and wanting to talk so much, then you got to be the first to answer all the questions that the fans want answered. Sorry, Jerry, that's kind of how it works. Like I said, this ain't Russia or North Korea. You got to expect questions that you aren't going to like, that make you uncomfortable. And you want to adopt like some young kids and bring them out on the podium and sit there like Nick Sirianni does with his kids. You know, I do whatever you have to. Because right now you look pathetic. And your fan base, I'm sorry, you guys look even more pathetic for supporting this team. Again, enough of the talk. Actually take actions to make change there. And then maybe something will change. Because you deserve him bringing back someone like Zeke Elliott because he's loyal to Jerry. because Jerry picked him out of college. Unbelievable. Like, like football is such a colossal distraction from this stupid election right now. And now the second biggest thing next to follow my Eagles, which is that NFL rivalry with the Eagles. I mean, excuse me, with the Cowboys. And like that isn't even enjoyable now because their own fans are starting to root against their team as well. Or they're seeing losses as karma and the losses don't sting. Ugh. Damn. Anyway, what say you guys out there? Like, do you feel as happy rooting against the Cowboys now and seeing them lose the way they are, knowing that Dallas Cowboys fans are saying like, it's karma. Jerry Jones deserved Detroit to come in on his birthday and curb stomp the team like they've never been beaten at home before. Like, does that make it as fun watching it now? Because for me, it doesn't. I mean, I still like it. I'll still enjoy it, but I'm like, it takes a little bit off of it now. It really does. Knowing that, like, what Dallas Cowboys fan in their right mind is going to go into this 49ers game saying, like, I think our boys are going to show up. I think they're going to ball out. I think they got this. Like, now they're going to be saying, probably going to lose. And you know what? We deserve to lose. That's not fun. That's not a fun rivalry. That's you being on the other side of the rivalry with the people you're supposed to be in rivalry with. Come on, Jerry. And come on, Dallas fans. Just stop showing up to games. Stop wasting your money. This team ain't going to a Super Bowl. Okay, I know that's tough to hear. I know you're old. We're 3-3. You're not going to a Super Bowl. Okay, turn your back on this team. Still watch it from home. Listen to it on the radio. Do whatever. Follow it. Stop buying stuff. Stop showing up to the games. I know you got season tickets. Pawn them off. Sell them to the other team's fans for cheap. Anyway, it just annoys me. Like I was digging this rivalry this year because this team has been such a colossal disappointment. Well, the Eagles have too, but more so the Cowboys. Anyway, I'm gonna go give my voice a little rest. That is all.